Hugh, can you turn that off from that side? They can't see you, they're looking at me.
Oh, hi, Aaron. Yes, we are back here. I'm hoping that, hopefully, hope beyond hope, that we're actually getting into the right place now and everything's just going to start to work. Let me know that we're here and there's some kind of workiness.
Oh, I called it stream 3 on the other one, but it's not, is it? It's stream 2.
I don't know, but Magical by Sarah says it's working. Is that stream ended?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it looks like it has. Oh, we might be all right here. Is this good? Are we working? Oh, thank goodness for that.
Hi.
Right, start again. We're a bit grey, but...
Yeah, we are a bit grey.
What's going to have to do?
It's because we're using the backup camera as well. But all the signal and everything seems to be okay now. Whatever was going on is sorted. Just let me know that you can hear some music when I play this music. That doesn't appear to be playing anything. Ah, there we go.
Good work. Good work. It was our connection.
I'm really tired today, everybody. It's been a really long day of running and stuff.
Here we go. It's in better def now.
Well, it is kind of, except
Well,
all the
no,
green's
the
disappeared.
green's gone. It's on green screen.
Never,
Hugh.
I know it is, never mind.
Here's my medal.
So, Chris did 10k today in Leeds.
I did the Leeds Abbey Dash for the second time. Last year it was my first ever 10k. This year it was my 6th ever 10k.
Was it
Golly.
easier or harder than last
Oh,
year?
much harder. But that's because, without going into too many details about it... you need your microphone now, by the way.
Oh.
Without going into too many details about it... I've been training really well. I was running Monday, Wednesday, Fridays doing 5Ks, and the plan was last week to ramp it up to about 8K so that I was ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started having some pains in a not very nice place, and I went to the doctor and they told me I've got a hernia.
Wakefield.
Chickenly. I went to the doctors and he told me I got a hernia, but when I ran today...
When you checked.
When I checked. There's
checked
nothing there. There's nothing there, so I don't believe him. I think it's just my running technique had got a bit crazy. And was
I
doing
think
me
that doctor
bone damage.
is sponsored by the hernia,
Well,
the Megacorp hernia people. And
do you know what? Do you know what, Hugh? You like this? You like this?
Oh, my money back.
Yeah, right. So the doctor said to me, "I'm going to send you for a scan, because I think you've got a hernia. Is that what you wanted to hear?" So I said, I don't really know. You're the doctor. We actually talked about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
I am sick of this thing they've started to do.
So what do you think it might be?
Yeah. Is that what you want?
I don't know. But and then
Why
Laura
is this?
wonders why I'm becoming a bit of a hypochondriac with stuff, because I go into the doctors trying to second guess what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
There's no way to hear that without
No.
feeling
Yeah.
patronised.
Yeah.
No, precisely.
Right.
Is that what you wanted?
Ooh, you're clipping. I'm going to unclip you, Hugh.
What's that mean?
Me.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just what happens.
Okay, guys, Disney. I'm going back to this news because we've been hither and thither. We've been down Abbey Road and back again. Is that where the Abbey Dash is?
No, it's
Okay.
Kirksall Road.
Kirk-
Okay.
yeah.
Can we do
Okay.
drinks before? Can we just for normality, just to make me feel like everything's back to normal? Let's talk about drinks, shall we?
Hey, ole, it's showtime. All together. Your tiki 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 cup in your tiki 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 cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage, now drink it up from your tiki 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 cup.
Chris, you were going to have a Pepsi Max that I was saving for you, but Lucy
Oh,
had it,
mate.
and I forgot to tell her
Oh.
not to drink it.
Is that because of his taste bud thing?
It's a taste bud thing.
Yeah, well, I couldn't drink Pepsi
No,
for a long time,
I
and
just-
now I can.
And I noticed there was one in the fridge, and I thought, oh, he can have something different, but he's not. He's having the same old tropical juice. This Ribena, right? I've said before. No, it's not Ribena. It's blackcurrant. I've said before. This Tesco blackcurrant is the closest thing you can get to Ribena, but I'm sure they've changed the recipe of this now, and it tastes weird.
I think you've had COVID this week, though.
I might have had COVID.
What else are
So
you drinking there? Bells.
I'm also
Bit of whiskey.
drinking some Bell's cough syrup.
Right, I must bring this conversation onto Disney.
Oh,
'Cause
okay,
it-
yeah,
it
because we
just-
have.
I
I
It's
could tell
just
when you
gone.
I could tell when you rolled your eyes when I mentioned blackcurrant.
Right.
I don't know how I'm going to make this into a podcast this week. It's going to be fun trying to find out though.
Just use this one.
New buttons.
New
Okay?
buttons.
I wouldn't call them buttons. I'd call them badges. Your celebration buttons, your I'm celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary and happy birthday me and all those. They've now got new designs. They disappeared and they were quite hard to get for a while. They've now got new designs available in City Hall. Just go in and ask for them. And hopefully this means the better stocked and more permanently stocked.
Excellent.
They offer them in French and English. So that is good to know for anyone going to do a celebration anytime soon. That's my first bit of news.
Very good.
You're both there going, is that better than talking about blackcurrant juice, Lucy, or not?
Got bongs now.
Oh, okay.
I did wonder what new buttons meant on the news,
New
buttons.
buttons.
but that's it.
Do you call them?
Well, do you know what? Like, because we're a British podcast, we'll call them badges.
Call them badges.
You know, so many YouTube channels I watch talk about dollars, and I know that's more international, but it's just like they go dollars, and then they go, that's about so and so pounds. Just start with the pounds then.
Yeah. Well, it's too depressing given the current exchange rate. I think that's the problem.
It's basically
'cause
the same now, anyways.
It's to differentiate it from pin badges. You have button badges.
Yes.
But I call them pins and badges, personally.
Trading pins.
Well, a badge is a badge and a pin's a pin. That's the main difference that I can see between the two.
Yeah, agreed. Now, here's a juicy one, and I have a feeling that...
Say the headline.
I will. Guests protest. I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit divisive in the chat. A group of guests, not a large group of guests, I'm not going to lie, or as Bob Chapek would call them...
Looked like they were expecting a large group of guests, though, didn't it?
As Bob Chapek would call them, consumers, have gathered outside the train station, just outside the security barriers, to protest the park reservation system. They did put on additional security because they expected this protest. Now, you have to understand that the French, they do like a protest, don't they? The unions
for it.
and
All
yeah,
about it.
absolutely. The civil rights movements of all kinds over there is active, so it's no surprise really. But it's there's two schools of thought here. If you go down Twitter, there's one is, what's the point? It won't change anything. There are worse things going on in the world. Can't you think of anything better to do with your time? I get that. The other point is that they are selling 365-day infinity passes for an awful lot of money, and then people like us, has to be said, are booking 5 days holiday with expensive annual passes and only been able to go in the park 3 days,
yeah.
which is what happened to us. We literally couldn't go in the park the last day because we couldn't get a park reservation. So I think that the statements from the people protesting weren't necessarily get rid of the park reservation system, although I think they insinuated they were like that. It was allow people to book the full length of their stay, open up more to annual pass holders, allow people to book consecutive days. They understand that it's not great for annual pass holders to be able to book 15 days, but if they could book like 5 consecutive days or 7 consecutive days, that would cover most people's trips.
If you're an annual pass holder and you book to stay on site,
Yeah, you can book
so
that many.
So then the answer is
They want you to stay on
that
site.
they want you to stay on site.
But
I mean,
they're selling these passes to locals and people who live a certain amount of driveway. They're selling them to people who've invested in holiday apartments, if we're honest. And I don't think that it should be... The annual passes are nothing to do with the hotels. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of bribery there. They've sold you one product, but to actually get what is advertised from the sale of the product, you have to buy an additional product.
yeah, I suppose that's fair.
Which I can see that as well. I have to be honest, I'm on the camp of, is this the best way you can spend your Sunday? But I definitely, having been bitten personally by these rules, I can see there's a big problem. I don't think physical protests will be the thing that makes a difference. I think letter writing and, just pressure in that way, people requesting refunds on their annual passes, that's going to end up costing them money. Stuff like that is going to leverage a bit more than just standing outside a train station. But it is the French way to picket something. That is what they do. So, yeah, I can't read that chat. So, have you been keeping up what people think about this?
Well,
try read that chat.
Yeah, there's a bit of back and forth about it.
Said it was around 70 people, Mark Riley says.
Well, Mark says that was debatable.
It didn't look like
Didn't
70
look like a lot.
to
It
me.
looked like 20 or 30, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sarah says, I don't think it's fair, just 3 days. It means you have to stay on site to guarantee entry.
Which, like I say, it's selling a product that requires an additional product to use the product.
Magical by Sarah says, detracts from your experience. You get through the gates and have to connect to the Wi-Fi in hope you can book your next day. Should be 5 days, so I agree. Philippus agrees it should be more days. Yeah.
I mean, this makes it all terribly complicated. They don't want people who do live locally booking random days and, you know, not using them or whatever because it messes with the system. I think if you can book more days, there should be a rule where they have to be consecutive, so it can only work for people who've travelled, you know, like 5 or 7 days consecutive. I don't know.
It's difficult.
It is. It's hard.
Are we back up to full capacity now? Has capacity increased since the opening of Avengers Campus? Where are we at with it all? Because it never used to be a problem, did it?
No.
Pre-COVID, it wasn't an issue.
They don't advertise this, but they do it to so they can predict staffing levels and stock levels, etc. So I think they've probably found a kind of seesaw balancing act where if they don't have excess staff and don't have excess stock and limit the capacity to here, they can make more money than if they just let it fluctuate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Which is why they don't have enough staff to do anything.
Yeah.
Don't explain why 1 in 3 snacks I can never get.
Yeah,
Does it?
that's true.
And why Cafe de la Bris is only open like once a
week.
Yeah.
Emma's drinking a mango flavoured sparkling water.
Oh. Do you know, it just occurred to me to do a plug when you were playing that jingle. It's blah, 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 blah. We sell T-shirts that say "What's on your tiki cup?" If that amuses you, and they look like that's the wrong phone.
What's
isn't
in
it?
your teeth?
It's this one here. Here you go.
There's a sticker with it on as well.
It looks like that one.
But you can get a T-shirt with that logo on.
I nearly wore it today. I nearly wore mine today, but it wasn't ironed, and I was too tired to iron it, so I didn't bother.
That's fine.
Amy's wearing.
We don't request.
Amy's
That's why I
wearing,
wore this V-neck. today.
Amy's wearing mini ears while knitting.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good. I was just, while poor Chris was having steam coming out of his ears for tech, I was just browsing nativity crochet patterns, thinking it would be.
Ooh.
I don't have time to crochet a whole nativity, but I would like to. We've discussed this. Any day the park isn't full to capacity, that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. At least 5, ideally 7, Aaron says. He sees capacity isn't what it used to be. Oh, capacity's not what it was in my day. This is what you're saying, isn't it?
Well,
that the amount of
I don't
days
know.
it's going to capacity, it's not even busy some of those days.
But what you do see if you're on like Facebooky, Twittery type places is there seems to be an awful lot of people with annual passes. I mean, I'm sure there always has been an awful lot, but there seems to be more and more people picking up their annual passes, and maybe they've got too many. Maybe they should stop selling them.
Hang on, that's a little misleading though, because people who interact on Disney Threads on Twitter are more likely to have annual passes.
Yeah, but a lot of them are people who are going
else.
for their first trips and are
figured
getting
out a
annual
hack.
passes when they get there because it's a hack effectively. Yeah.
Charlotte she's only got water, but she's
Oh.
drinking it from an HHN reusable cup, which I assume is Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
Nice. I could do with one that doesn't disappear, couldn't I? Really?
Yes, a non-green.
Although on the other camera, it's not so much of a problem.
Green
Is it?
screen friendly cup. We'll sort that out, Chris.
I nearly brought my own skeleton goblet with me today,
Um,
but I forgot.
Mark Riley said, yes, capacity has increased. There are no more governmental restrictions in numbers to the park anymore, so I understand why the AP holders are upset. There are so few days left. This is the thing, though, Mark, that we're saying, is there's no government restrictions on the capacity, so they should be at full capacity. However, in previous years, they only ever got to capacity maybe on Christmas Eve, maybe. And now, 1 second, and now that they're saying that they're like every random Wednesday in August is at capacity. Well, that's not true, is it? Because there are not as many people in the park as there used to be on days that they would close the gates. So they are managing their own capacity now for logistical reasons, which I can understand. But they're selling very expensive annual passes and then not letting people use them. It's been a whole thing in California. They've done the same thing, and they've not learned. They took them off sale in California because of this reason. It was illegal to sell what they were selling. And obviously, that legal loophole is shut in France because they can legally still do this.
It's very strange now, isn't it? Very strange these days.
Yeah.
What did you point at that made you gasp?
There's been some non-DLP breaking news that Mark shared about
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for sharing.
a certain unflushable turd has now been, has been flung out the window. We'll say no more about that. So it was not flushable, but they fished it out with a bit of tissue and just wanged it out the window.
For those of you listening, that's all you're getting?
Yeah. Go the BBC News app. That just does genuinely bring me to a Disneyland Paris story. When me and Hugh first went to Disneyland Paris together, we'll have been like 18 and 19, I think. Teeny bops.
About 21.
I was working at HSBC.
Wow. Did that really need the bell?
Well, hang on. I was between the first and second year of university.
And I was about to start my first year at university. So, okay.
20.
That, yeah.
1.
He'll have been 20-ish, I'll have been 18, 19-ish.
21.
Yeah.
You were 20.
Okay. Right.
Now children.
We were little. And I did do a little poo in the in the Cheyenne toilets, and it would not flush, and I was so embarrassed and like embarrassed about this, and because I didn't like the idea that cleaners could come in and I'd be burying it in tissue paper. I would try to get rid of it. Now I wouldn't care.
Can I just tell you, Hugh, you started this. You started it.
That's the cleaner's
with
job.
your bizarre analogy for Boris Johnson.
Mine was a metaphor. Lucy's talking about her actual poo.
I don't think I stayed in hotels much at that age. I stayed in like youth hostels and stuff, and I was really devastated that a cleaner was going to come in and find it.
Is it 9:30 yet?
And it was only small and cute. It wasn't a big ugly one.
It was a bibbity bobbity. It was a bobbing,
a pippity poppity.
It was an itty bitty bibbity bobbing poo.
Honestly, that was our first trip as a couple to Disneyland Paris, and that is one of my main memories.
My watch has told me now. My watch has just told me about the news.
Oh, good.
It's exciting.
One of my other memories from that trip was we both used to smoke. Naughty. I know, don't do it, kids. But we both used to smoke, and it was back in the days when you could smoke anywhere. Oh, yeah, that's now, isn't it? Anyway, but Hugh flicked a cigarette and it circled and then it landed on its end like a tower, and we were both really impressed.
Sounds like the holiday of a lifetime.
So there was the unflushable poo, the cigarette that landed on its end, and we saw Manfred Mann's Earth Band playing outside on the tiny stage near McDonald's.
Yeah, they used to
in the village.
They used to have a big stage set up outside in the summer.
No. A little tiny stage. There was literally about 3 people watching. One of my dad's, like, not his favourite bands, but a band that he liked.
And it used to be.
Is anyone else wishing that we were still having technical issues right now?
I'm gonna shut up. I loved that holiday. It was so good.
The poo, the cigarettes.
And I filmed that as well, but
times.
we took a camcorder that was like that big. That's how long it was. Do you remember that massive thing we were looking around?
It was your little handy cam.
It was. Ooh.
And now the microphone's broken. Yeah.
Oh, don't publish this tomorrow, Chris. This podcast.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, guys. There'll be no podcast this week. Lucy did it again.
Okay. Let's.
Sarah says, "Love you, Lucy."
Oh, do you?
Was that before or after the poo story?
I'm not sure I've earned your love, if I'm honest. Right, come on. Are people still there? Are people leaving?
Listen.
Are the numbers dropping off as I talk?
Drove.
Mark C is saying, despite the DLP overlords wanting to squeeze every euro out of us, I'm determined to still be enveloped by the Disney magic come December. Plus, it will be me Julie's birthday whilst there.
You see, This is the thing. This is the thing, right? We're going to Disney World in February and we're getting all this news and everything's price increases and the goalposts are moving. And we're like, you're trying to make us not come. But God damn you, we're going to come and spend that money whether you like it or not. And it's like,
some people would say we're
what
foolish.
can you do? Yeah, I know.
It's a really funny time, though, isn't it? Don't you feel like there's just so much negativity going on? And I suppose we're not helping with it either, are we? But it's just lots of just little niggly things. Where if they just made a few tweaks, everybody would be happy. They don't have to do a lot. It's not a lot.
I can think of one very giant bald tweak they could make.
You got an analogy for him?
Disney's going to shut us down.
I know. Sorry.
In a minute, you're going to say that is all she wrote, and we have nothing to talk about today.
I know.
I have
That's
some news.
literally, the protest. That's all she wrote.
I have some news. They've sold out of Monopoly,
Oh yeah, but they are saying they're expecting a restock soon.
but they don't know when.
That was big news.
You can't spend your €70 on Monopoly.
Yeah, is that it?
That's all I had, yeah.
I'm just like,
No, but I'm only saying that because Aaron's made a good point, which is
Yeah.
there's definitely a weird juxtaposition between I can't believe they're doing this and actually being there and just forgetting about all the problems and spending your money on this stuff.
it's
It's
do you know?
really funny.
Yeah.
Like there was again, I go on these Facebook groups and I get angry by it, as you know, because we talked about it last week. But there are people going on there and saying, "Oh, this happened and that happened, blah blah blah," and I go again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we wouldn't.
It's easy to talk about this stuff because it's current and it's affecting people and it's interesting to get angry at stuff. But when you're there, it's still like the best holiday ever, isn't it? It could be a lot better, like it used to be, but it's still pretty good.
In the run up to our May 2022 Walt Disney World holiday, and when I say run up, it was a cancelled holiday from 2020, so we feel like we had a 2.5 year run up to that holiday. And things were getting worse and worse and worse. It was shut for COVID and then it reopened. And when it reopened, they got rid of the dining plan, they got rid of fast passes, they introduced Genie Plus. And it felt like every month there was something that really upset people. And I was really trying to almost turn a blind eye. While I needed to know it, trying to turn a blind eye. But people kept coming on the groups and going, "Don't worry, the magic is still there." And I thought, if you have to say the words "don't worry," it worries me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, once we got there, just the minute we were there, I wasn't walking around the parks going, "I hate Genie Plus." I wasn't walking around going, "I can't believe that they're charging that for a Coke." I just wasn't. You know what I mean? You feel like that at home when you're not in the middle of it. When you're actually in the parks, none of it matters. That's me being all Disney fan. It gets you in the feels, people. Gets you in the feels.
Go.
Well, just
You
briefly.
can talk about straws.
yeah. Are we nearly there yet? Says Lucy. If you ever have the same issue again, a reusable straw is a useful tool. Ew. What? Like? In what way?
I was about to start
poker.
talking about my water birth.
Mashing
then, but I
or
don't think I
sucking?
should.
Or...
Well done. That's good self-censorship there, Lucy. Congratulations. Just on a sensible note now, a positive one. Let's be positive and sensible, and think about next week. Are we going to do a Halloween special next week?
Yes, we are.
Are we? What are we going to cover in this Halloween special? What are we going to do?
It's a good point. We're going to look festive, but I don't know how.
I've already got a pumpkin jumper on.
I'm wearing a summer jumper that people think is a Christmas jumper, just because people now think all pattern jumpers are Christmassy. It's got palm trees on, for heaven's sake.
I've made no effort at all. I'm wearing a V-neck. I never wear V-necks.
You are wearing a
but I'm
very
wearing a
shiny
V-neck.
medal, though, Chris.
I am wearing oh yeah. Has everyone seen my medal? I've got a medal.
Yeah. Suggestions in the chat. What can we talk about for Halloween?
I really liked it when we talked about Phantom Manor, but we can't really do that again, can we?
No.
Jill Johnson says, I love that DLP 30th Spirit jersey that you got, Lucy. The Euro Disney one, the 1992 Euro Disney one. But they've sold out. I wonder if they'll get any more. But the 30th on until September. I wonder if they'll get any more. They may well do, because they've sold out twice before. Because I was watching the news like, oh no, I really want it sold out. And then it came back in. So, I mean, it could literally be in by next week, or I could be lying to you and it doesn't. But my suspicion will be it'll come back in, personally.
Claire says she won't be here for the Halloween show because she's performing in a show that night. Devastated. What show are you performing in? We like to know these things.
Yeah, we do.
This is our bag. What are you doing? We're going to sit here silently and wait for you to respond.
Yeah. Come on.
Spin-off show idea, TMI chat with Lucy.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should just be saving that for
You
extra
don't
magic
need
time.
to put 50p in me, I'm telling you.
Extra pooey time.
Oh dear.
Lucy's
Oh dear.
Poocast.
Yeah.
Toddcast. Hot Toddcast.
It's important stuff. You can tell everything you need to tell about your health.
Movements with Lucy.
Your stools.
yeah.
But that could have so many different things. You've been a dance teacher and stuff. Lucy's movements.
Lucy's movements. Oh dear. I was just reading a book on movement direction when you arrived.
Over there. Like
I saw. Cheryl says, I seen a fight between two families while we were waiting for the parade back in 2008 that broke the magic bubble. So price increases is not going to ruin Disney for me.
I do. It's such a shame when that happens. Someone in Walt Disney World, they were really screaming at each other in Hollywood studios, and I've also seen it on Main Street. Is just people just being so angry. And it just seems like such a strange place. But then, because there's so many people jostling, people, are protective of the children, people can get very angry.
To be fair, Hugh, you gave quite a ticking off to some teenagers on Pirates of the Caribbean, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. See, there's this thing with, and I think it's because I've worked in schools quite a lot, when teenagers become bothersome in public, I go high. When Hugh encounters them, Hugh goes low. Hugh goes straight to their level and starts.
Well, I've told this story before, but
finger waggling.
We were on Pirates of the Caribbean, and they were just doing the boat in front of us, and they were screaming, but nothing was happening, and they were just screaming, and it was so loud and obnoxious, and it was like
it echoes a lot.
It was ruining the ride for everyone. There was kids behind us that were getting quite distressed by it, and because they were like saying, "What what's happening? What's going on?"
They thought it was going to be a scary ride because it was right at the beginning of the ride. So the parents were having to go, "Don't worry, no, there's nothing scary in this." And these teenagers in front were screaming. It were really obnoxious of them. However,
they were shrieking and shouting and screaming at the top of their voices all the way through the ride. Ugh. So when we got off, I give them all a stern telling off. At one point, one of them said, "You're a fully grown man. You're a fully grown man." Because I wasn't acting like one.
Yeah, am I?
No, I didn't do that. It was when I went a bit Larry David, because at one point they said that one of them pretended. No, we were scared. We were scared on that ride, and I was going, "Oh, boo-hoo, the scary pirates!" Boo. They were lying. They were just causing trouble. I wasn't cool. And then I disguised myself for the rest of the day.
He did. And then he got really scared and worried about the teenagers.
If you go and watch part one of my Walt Disney World video from 2022 on my channel, Hugh Rain, part one, it happens in that.
Wow.
Anyway,
Charlotte says...
Chris realised something.
I know, it was more of... I had a thought. What if, because we haven't done it for ages, and we need some magic and stuff, what if we did a virtual Halloween park day next week?
Yeah. We'll dress up, virtually.
We'll virtually dress up.
So we'll pick our costumes, and what we could imagine Halloween parties and stuff, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll snack it.
Snacks.
Get on some rides.
We'll do a virtual day.
Get stuck behind someone with a pushchair.
Yeah.
Charlotte...
This is where, in the past, we've just especially during lockdown, we just pretended we were in the park, and we just talked through what we're going to do and what we're going to do next.
And you always
we've done a couple of times.
You always imagine yourself having a really bad day.
Not entirely bad, but we like to derail it.
We keep it real, man. We keep it real. Yeah. Some bad things have to happen. It can't just be like, oh, and then a fairy dropped a brand new Avengers baseball cap onto my head, and I said, "Is this for free?" And the fairy said, "Yes, it's for free," and then flew away, and it was a magical time. But what we normally do is go, and then we go for a coffee, but then there's a 20-minute queue.
I started to read out Charlotte's comment 3 times, so I'm going to finish because
Go on then, do
bless her, she'll be like, "Oh, she was going to say it." Charlotte Cass says, "I stopped a teenager pushing to the front of a single rider queue to join their family. I think the Americans were secretly respecting my British stubbornness." We have some redeeming traits in certain situations. We can queue.
I'm a bit nervous about doing that because there are a number of reasons someone might need to leave the queue and then rejoin the family. So.
Not single rider. Well.
Oh, we had someone do that when we were going on Big Thunder Mountain. 2 people, literally, they just started walking up the line, and everyone just let them go past. They weren't bothered.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy just to go, excuse me, excuse me, and just skip half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is their problem? Like, my issue is it's always who do these people think they are that they don't have to queue? We can all queue. We're just a bunch of dum-dums that queue like cattle, but they're special, and we don't queue. We push to the front. Who do you think you pretenders? Pretenders. It's what you are.
You clipped again then.
Sorry.
Passionate clipping.
Sorry.
Emma Sylvester
true.
says,
It's true.
when we were in California, friends of mine yelled at 3 separate groups of teenagers who were queue jumping. I pretended not to be with them.
Yeah.
Thing is, I do think it's a very true stereotype that British respect the queue. And I like you, I just can't believe it's happening. But I think culturally it's just not the same somewhere else. And you just see all the British people tutting and going, like that.
Yeah, we're a nation of eye rollers.
I find the Americans in American parks very respectful of each other's places
They're
and
great.
spaces.
They're so polite. We've said this numerous times.
We have. We're all passive aggressive.
Yeah.
They're genuinely nice people.
I think maybe we used to be a polite nation, but that stereotype is old now. It's not true. We're polite.
Bitter. We're bitter now.
We're bitter. We're stupid.
Oh, fun.
We're like the worst guests internationally.
Okay.
Except us. We're lovely. All of us. Aren't we?
Yeah.
Come on, someone.
Well,
Have you got a
polite,
question for
we're
us? Have you got a
patient.
suggestion for us?
Are we patient? I'm not patient.
Philippa Miller says, "I avoid confrontation at all costs, so I'd say quiet and then just spend the rest of the day ranting to my husband."
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, stay quiet, not say quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, Philippa, if I am in a well, no, not always, because sometimes I get genuinely cross, but if I'm in a situation where I need confrontation with a group like that, I tend to go, excuse me, I'm very sorry to bother you, but I just noticed that you were at the back of the queue. And thing is, people don't know how to deal with that. If you go in like ranting, they rant back at you. But if you say it quite nicely, people are like, oh, sorry, miss.
Did you see what Emma said? She said, "I nearly had a fight with a girl last March before the fireworks." She arrived right before the fireworks started, when we'd been waiting, and stood right in front of me and then was really abusive to my wife. Who are these people, man? Who do they think they are?
Can I just say, though, we're all being a little bit grumpy today.
Here we go.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
I love a grumpy episode. We should just do a
all
grumpy.
grumpy.
Do you know what? It kind of suits because the lighting's a bit dark today, so it
They're
kind
all
of suits
washed
the
out,
tone.
don't they?
Yeah.
Aaron's got a question.
Yep.
Do any of the rides get decorated for Christmas? I haven't been since I was 6, and the only thing I was remembered to trip was telling Santa that I wanted Power Rangers in a Disney park. Aaron, sacrilege. Small World gets a musical overlay. They alternate Jingle Bells with Small World, and I actually really like that. I don't think any of the others do.
There might be the odd touch here and there, but I can't think of anything like specific.
There wasn't when I was there. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And to be honest, and I've probably said this before, I'm sure I've said this before, but I don't like the Christmas music on Main Street.
Oh, don't you?
No, because
like
it
Hello
means
Dolly?
you haven't got. Yeah, it means you haven't got Hello Dolly.
Yeah.
And that bothers me. It bothers me.
Is Small World going to be open this Christmas? It looks very unlikely, Rachel. Very unlikely. They have got the construction lists up, and it's still on it, and it's got no ending date. Having said that, things do change rapidly, but if you're booking holidays, I wouldn't count on it. If it's going to make or break your holiday, just
don't let it.
presume it's not.
Because I thought it would make or break my holiday, and it didn't at all. I missed it, but I didn't miss it. It was fine, but Pirates of the Caribbean became my small world for a trip. It's all good.
They don't do Holiday Phantom Manor in Paris. That tends to be an American thing. It's mainly because of the way ours is genuinely more scary, whereas I think the ones in America are a little bit more tongue in cheek, and so they can get away with having slight overlays. The one in California does Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Which just wouldn't translate in Paris, I don't think.
Nah. Although he does stand outside, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got loads of Christmas characters and things like that, and you've got Jack outside it. Charlotte says, thoughts on Disneyland Park needing a new ride. I was there a few weeks back and Big Thunder was closed for refurb and it made the queues long in the rest of the park. They've got an expansion pad that is kind of, if you imagine the circle like a pizza, it's sort of a wedge between Indiana Jones and...
Indiana. I love how you say Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones. I was waiting
Indiana Jones and Pirates of the Caribbean, I suppose, but it's that top bit of Adventureland. They've got an expansion pad wedge there. So if they were to build a ride, it would be in that area, and I think that's a fun one for us to discuss sometime. I think there's a little bit of area down by Discoveryland, but the truth is, yes, I agree they need it. It would also be a big boost because they haven't had one in forever. I think the last new thing they got was, well, it's all been not constructed from scratch. Like Star Tours. I think it's Star Tours. Buzz Lightyear.
Star Tours was an overlay. It was just a new version, wasn't it?
Nope.
Star Tours was an open. We had this in Quizney Street when you marked me wrong, and I wrote a letter to you to complain about the quiz.
Okay.
Because Star Tours was an opening day attraction, but
And then
the Voyage Continues was the newest of the things, wasn't it?
Buzz Lightyear was in an existing show building, wasn't it? Can't remember what it was before, but it was physically it was already there.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had an actual new ride constructed since the early...
Space Mountain.
Yeah. Well, that was still in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, what's come since then?
I don't know. It's worth looking into. I wish Bob was here. He would know instantly, wouldn't he? But having said that, I don't think it's likely until 2028 or beyond when they finish the studios. They don't have the money. We just don't have the capital in Paris to be doing two parks at the same time.
And it won't be Splash Mountain.
No. It won't be any kind of water ride. It won't be Jungle Cruise because of the language barriers.
Yeah. So...
It would have to be something original, I think.
It'd have to be something original, yeah. Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Rachel says, any Christmas snacks in the parks that you would recommend, or do they change each year?
Shortbread.
I think that's one of the things that change each year. I would recommend you go to the Winter Food Festival in the studios, which is like La Heve de la Gourmande. Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
Something like that.
But they have all your Stollen and your mulled wine and things like that going there.
Yeah, and I guess they've definitely upped their game over the last 12 months, haven't they? So, and Christmas last year, did it happen in the end? I can't even remember. It was massively dialed down, wasn't it?
It was.
All sorts
at
of
the
stuff was cancelled at the last minute. Yeah. So. It's really difficult to say because we haven't really had a proper Christmas for 3 years or something.
Get a nice themed hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, those ones you got
from
the frozen ones.
Oh, we got banana hot chocolate in the Sequoia Lodge. In fact, you know what? Top tip for Christmas.
Sequoia Lodge bar.
If you're going at Christmas, take an hour or so out of your park day to wander up to Sequoia Lodge and sit in that nice warm with the open fires.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it's actually called.
It's called, it'll come to me.
Beavers Creek.
It might be, actually.
I think I might have just made that up, though. Emma Sylvester, I would like to see Soaring as well. It's one of my favourite attractions in the US that they don't have over here. However, I think that would go in Discoveryland. I don't think we'd have
Yeah, I
that.
was going to say, how would it fit in Adventureland?
Redwood Bar.
Oh, the Redwood Bar. Yes. It's
Oh, the
gorgeous.
Redwood Bar is coming on over the hill.
Oh, people are saying it in the chat. I was looking that up, but Joanne and Scottish Claire got there too.
Excellent. Well done, guys.
Redwood Bar.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go into the park hotels even if you're not staying there, and I do recommend you do. That is a good use of your time when you're in Disneyland Paris, is to go into other hotels. They've got good restaurants, they've got good bars, but it's also just worth looking around because the theming's amazing. Particularly, do go into the Marvel Hotel, even if you're not. Did you go into Marvel Hotel?
Yeah, we ate there twice. Yeah.
Oh, of course you
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Of course you did.
I ate in both restaurants.
You were
actually,
meant to be
and
staying
went
there,
back.
weren't you?
Yeah, we were supposed to be staying there,
And
and then
then-
it all fell through. I was supposed to get a whatever it was, a special edition picture as well. I didn't get that because we had to move the holiday as well.
And the room, you didn't get the room, but if you've been
No.
in and you've eaten in the restaurants and you were a hop, skip and a jump across the road, it's
The Manhattan restaurant. I can't remember what we talked about from our holidays because we started doing it all and then we kind of moved on from it all. But the Manhattan restaurant for me was just superb. Absolutely fantastic meal. And I would go there again in a heartbeat.
food, atmosphere, service, everything.
Everything. Just everything.
Everything.
It was like an upmarket Italian restaurant. No, not pizza, but like proper Italian food. And the service was I reckon the guy who waited on us was the best service we had the whole time we were there. The kids enjoyed the food. There wasn't anything. They were trying things that maybe they wouldn't have normally had, but they enjoyed everything about it. It was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Jen Wren says, we're booked into Sequoia Lodge, 55 days to go, not telling the kids until the night before, hopefully.
Yay.
Exciting.
Oh,
Now,
gosh, I need a shave.
I will say, I mean, obviously you know your kids, but we found in our experience that Bonnie needs a little bit of notice because she's at an age where she likes to pack and she likes to think about it.
She's always been at that age. We surprised her when
Yeah.
she was 4. She cried. We've never done it since. But she's a very pedantic personality as Bonnie. So you know your kids, they might be fine.
Yeah, like if we said to Bonnie, right, we're going to Disney now, she'd be quite distressed about it. 'Cause
She would.
She's just like, what? But I had plans to do, you know.
She needs
She's
to
only
get-
8, but like, you know, she's got an idea like I'm going to do some writing or some drawing or whatever.
She needs to get used to the idea. But this is, I mean, how would
Yeah.
your boys take it? I think everyone's different,
They'd
aren't
be
they?
absolutely fine. I think
Yeah.
they'd be well up for it. But then they, like you said before, she'd want to help with the packing and all that sort of stuff, and they wouldn't care about that. If we could stick them in the car and drive them for 8 hours, not telling them where we were going. I mean, they'd figure it out, but we could do that and get there, and then they'd find out.
I
and
can
they'd be fine
hear
with it.
Bonnie's voice now between tears going, oh, but what outfits did you pack me? that would be one of her first questions. There you go. Right.
Are we timed up? We kind of-
Oh, gosh, it is. That's
We
gone
are.
quick.
well,
Mainly because of the drama of the first 15 minutes, perhaps.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
let's do that next week then. Is that all right?
That'd be ace.
It's your show, really. I just mess all the technical
No,
stuff up.
no. That's fine. Shall I still
What
do
do
some
I do?
news, though? Although there might not be much because it will be a
Oh
holiday.
yeah, still do the we'll chuck
It'll
in the
still
news.
be a holiday week, and like I say, often on the peak season weeks, there's not a lot of news because they don't like to muck with anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jen Red adds, we have a lazy 9-year-old, but a nearly 4-year-old. The 4-year-old turns 4 whilst we're out there.
Oh, that sounds ace.
Get a pin from the
Dip, dip, dip.
Hotel de Ville.
A badge.
A badge. A button.
It's my birthday badge. You get special treatment.
Emma's with Bonnie. Well, I think I am to a certain extent.
How many people do that when it's not their birthday? Just so they can feel special.
I think people do.
Oh yeah, they will. But I
People do.
wonder.
I
How
also, you know, the ones that just say generically, "I'm celebrating," and then you write it in yourself. I've seen some very shaky ones of those going around the American parts, like "I'm celebrating being on holiday, being on vacation," and you're like, "Are you though?" You know, attention seeking. That's what you
Do
do.
you know what? I'll be honest. I find the it's my first trip one a bit weak.
Yes.
Anniversary, birthday, great. It's my first trip. Is it?
I think once you write your name on it, you've spoilt it. So I just want plain badges to bring home.
Plain badges, please.
I'm miserable like that though. We're going to do extra magic time now for those of you who are Patreon subscribers. If you want to come and join us, we might talk about poo and stuff. I don't know, because we tend to steer away a bit from Disneyland Paris, and there's conversations.
Winnie the Pooh. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can share the picture you
Pooh and
showed me
Piglet.
earlier.
Also, a quick disclaimer from me before you finish up. Quick disclaimer from me is this: a lot of the prizes should have arrived this week, or should be arriving in the next couple of days. The ears, and I have emailed both the ear winners. The ears are en route, but I made a slight error in the packaging. That
He
I
sent
paid
them
for.
third class.
Well, I didn't. I sent them 48-hour tracked, and when I went to the post office, they said, "Oh, we can't take that here." And the date had expired, so I've had to redo it. So they'll be coming to you this week at some point. And to the Mabberts, I still need to do your jingle, but I'm on with it. I have done a rough draft, and I'm on with it.
I've done the Mabberts picture.
There we go. And I think that's all those things.
She's had it.
Yeah. Come join us on Patreon if you're a Patreon person. If you're not and you want to join us on Patreon, come join us on Patreon.
Yep. And next week it'll be spooky around these parts.
Thank you all very much for joining us. I've been Lucy. These have been the Boys. Goodbye.
The boys, goodbye.
Really hope that would have slid.
It didn't.